Hello, everybody. It's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. We're joining you live here on YouTube. In fact, this video was recorded live. You're watching this, obviously, later on. It's not live. But anyway, we're here live every Friday on our YouTube channel. If you're thinking to yourself, man, I would love to hang out and talk Royal Caribbean with this Brad Pitt lookalike, well, then you can do so by making sure you like this channel, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and turn on your notifications. So that way, you can get notified when we go live each and every time. And today, we're sharing the 15 things everybody should know before going on a cruise. There's a lot more, really, but these are 15 tips that I really came up with. I thought, you know what, these are some good tips for everybody going on a cruise to be able to learn. And after these 15 tips, we're going to be going right back into our chat room here and taking some of your questions live on the air about anything Royal Caribbean related. So let's jump right into it. 15 things everyone should know before going on a cruise. Number one, not all cruises are created equal. If it's your first time booking a cruise, you know, it's really tempting to go, oh, I'm just going to pick the cheapest, shortest cruise I could possibly get. But, you know, don't assume that all ships are the same. They don't all go to the same places. They don't all visit the same things. And it's all the same experience on board and on shore. There's a lot of different cruise types and vacations you can choose from. Royal Caribbean has a number of ships in its fleet. And you know what? They go to places all over the world. They have different lengths, different types of offerings on board. So it's not all the same. And as a first-time cruiser, what you definitely want to do is take a moment and consider a lot of different choices. Don't just pick the first cruise you find, or even worse, just consider the lowest price cruise you can find. Look at what the cruise offers, not only the ship, but the places you're visiting, the kind of room you're getting, all that. It's a total package kind of thing. Number two, some rooms on your cruise ship don't have windows. Yes, it's true. There's a lot of different room categories you're going to find on a cruise ship. You'll have balconies, you'll have suites, and you'll also have inside rooms. Rooms that may have no view at all, just four walls and a door back out to the hallway. Some rooms have views that look into the ship instead of off the ship, and a variety of other things. So, you know, keep in mind when you're booking your room what you have there. Some people don't really care. So it's like, I don't care. As long as I'm on a cruise ship, doesn't really matter to me. Other people need to have a view of the ocean. Other people need to have not only a view of the ocean, but also, you know, open access, open airways, their own private balcony. So again, this is obviously a very personal decision, but you should know there's a lot of different room categories out there. Now, when it comes to actually going on your first cruise, definitely pack a day bag for embarkation day. It can be really helpful to pack a duffel bag or just a small bag you can carry around with essentials for the first day on board your ship. Things like sunscreens, a bathing suit, a book, any medications you might have, and other must-have essentials that are not packed, but you may need between whenever you get to the cruise terminal and let's say that evening. The luggage you're bringing on board your cruise will be checked. You're going to give it to these porters. Porters are going to deliver it to the ship, and then Royal Caribbean's crew members will take the luggage from there up to your room and deliver it right to your room. But this can take a couple of hours. So obviously you're going to need some of these things in between then. So it's really important to think about what you're going to need in those first, 4 to, let's even say 10 hours on board the ship just to be safe. That's why, medications is really critical to make sure you have those on your person, as well as a bathing suit because the pool is going to be open, available for you to go check out. Sunscreen, things you're just going to need in those first couple hours on board. Number 4. This is a biggie, but you know what? For first-time cruisers, they may not know this. You're not going to get bored on board. There is a ton of stuff to do. There's daytime poolside contests, late-night clubs, dance parties, Broadway shows. Let me put it this way. There is no shortage of things to do as you set sail. If you got kids, there's kids clubs in the Adventure Ocean program that are supervised. There's activities throughout the entire sailing. Your kids are going to be busy as well. But the bottom line is you're not going to be bored on your Royal Caribbean cruise. There is so much going on. In fact, it's the exact opposite on a Royal Caribbean cruise. Not that you're going to be bored, is you're not going to have an opportunity to do it all. There's going to be some FOMO going on, right? Fear of missing out. Number 5, there are dress codes. Yes, dress codes do exist. Don't worry, it's not as bad as you think. It's not a scene out of Titanic where everyone's going to be wearing tuxedos and ball gowns and, everyone will be talking in British accents and saying, hello, sir, welcome aboard. Oh, yeah, should have said bad British accents. No, it's not quite as formal as it might seem. There are formal nights. There are mostly casual nights. But the bottom line is what you should do is look at what the dress codes are. There's casual nights primarily. You'll have a couple of formal nights worked in there, but don't worry. It's not as bad as you think. And if you're saying, you know what, I refuse to get dressed up on my Royal Caribbean cruise. I want my idea of a dress code is shorts, bathing suit, sleepwear, and repeat. Well, you can do that as well. The dress codes only apply to the main dining room for dinner. Some of the specialty restaurants have their own dress codes, but the bottom line is you can go on board these ships, never wear anything nicer than a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, and enjoy a lot of different other venue options for you to eat and be fed and not have to worry about that. So keep that in mind. Number 6, research the all-inclusive options that are available. These days, Royal Caribbean does offer a couple of different options that bring you closer to an all-inclusive experience. We're talking about drink packages as well as some of the specialty restaurant packages that are available. Now, inevitably, the question is, well, Matt, is the drink package worth it? Is the dining package worth it? And the answer is, well, it depends. It depends on you and how you vacation and how much you're looking to indulge or go into that direction. There are absolute value propositions to the drink package and the specialty dining packages, but ultimately, it really depends on you and how you vacation. So what you want to do is research ahead of time, see what it offers, see what you're interested in doing, have an honest conversation with yourself about how much you're really going to eat or drink on board the ship, and then decide if it makes sense. I will point out that both definitely the drink package is cheaper before the cruise if you book it beforehand than on board the ship. The dining package is pretty much the same price, but they can sometimes sell out, or Royal Caribbean can more specifically take away the option to buy dining packages. So in either case, it behooves you to buy before the cruise. Number 7, and this is something that is just, man, this entire YouTube channel is built on this concept. Planning is, I wrote this down, so important. To avoid disappointment or being left on board, twiddling your thumbs, book your activities, research everything you can about your cruise. Excuse me. There is a ton to do, but you know what? You only stand to benefit from it being an educated consumer. Learn about what's available on your ship. Learn about the activities in the islands you're visiting, and do as much research as you can. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to spend, weeks and months researching every iota of it, becoming a subject expert matter on every port you're visiting and being able to recite their entire history going back at least 400 years. Far from it. You just need to you're doing your due diligence of learning about what's available, looking at shore excursions that are available through Royal Caribbean, shore excursions that are available on your own to do, and also what's available on your ship. So do yourself a favor, and really this comes down to 2 important words. Be prepared. That's it. It's about being prepared and for what's to come. So that way, again, you're avoiding disappointment. That's really the bottom line. Number 8, you can bring your own food and some drinks. This question gets up quite often, actually, and it's kind of surprising to me, but then again, not so much. You can bring food on board the ship if you want to bring. I always bring, I have 2 young girls. We always bring snacks for them to have them, like goldfish and applesauce packets. Not because you can't get food on the ship. Far from it. There's plenty of food on board. But sometimes the convenience factor and the packaging makes it a whole lot easier. So if you want to bring some food for the kids or your favorite snack that you're worried they're not going to have, no problem at all. In terms of drinks, you may bring up to 12 bottles of non-alcoholic beverages on board your Royal Caribbean cruise. In addition, you can also bring up to 2 bottles of wine per stateroom. You may not bring any other alcohol on board. No beer, no liquor, no Colt 45, Michelob Ultra, or anything else that's not non-alcoholic beverages or 2 bottles of wine. So keep that in mind. Also, another important one I don't think a lot of first-time cruisers think about is gratuities. There are gratuities that are going to be assessed on your cruise. And you have the option before the cruise of prepaying them, or you can have them automatically added to your account on board the ship. Either way, figure that out and budget it accordingly, so that way you are prepared for them. And again, your travel agent can help you figure out exactly the option. I personally prefer to prepay my gratuities just because it helps break up total cost of the cruise, and there's less of that like big bill at the end. You know what I mean? And number 10, there is laundry available on the ship, but you have to go, there's no self-serve options. It is dry cleaning. Royal Caribbean offers a couple different choices. There's formal dry cleaning. There's press and fold. So those are the main options you have. There's also sometimes a plastic bag, at special, where you get a plastic bag, you put as many clothes as you can in there, and for a flat fee, they'll wash and fold it for you. Now, if you're looking for something, a good strategy for doing something on your own on a very small scale, you might go buy those single-use detergent packets because, of course, you could use your bathroom sink or even your bathtub if you have one. If you're staying in a suite, you could use those venues to do some really minor laundry, like for underwear, socks, maybe even some undergarments. It might make sense for you to do that because you can just fill up the tub or the sink with water and detergent, put your clothes in there, and then hang dry in your room or on the balcony or what have you. It is an option for you. It's not, obviously you can't do your whole laundry, but it can help. But you should also, based on everything I just said about laundry, perhaps consider packing more clothes so that way you have backup. Number 11, keep an eye out for upgrades. Yeah, when you book your cruise, you're not necessarily locked in stone in terms of what you actually booked. Maybe you said you went to go book the cruise and said, you know what? Given the price structure, I think it's going to be best if we book just an ocean view room. A room that has a nice little window out to the ocean. But that's it, because the price is good. That's what we can afford. Yay. Well, you know what? Between now and your and final payment date, and even sometimes a little beyond that, you have the option of always upgrading or moving up if the price, maybe sometimes that cost move up to the next category up comes down a little bit. Hey, you can always change up to that, right? I always tell people Royal Caribbean is happy to take your money, more of your money, I should say. So keep an eye out for upgrades as well as price drops. These are topics that we've covered on RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com if you want more in-depth information about it. But don't assume that when you book your cruise that what the room you booked and the price you paid is necessarily locked in place. There's always opportunities for change, provided you work within the rules of Royal Caribbean's booking structure. But it is important to always keep an eye out for those upgrade options. Number 12, I say avoid crowds and get to the terminal early. On embarkation day, it's a very exciting day. A lot going on. A lot of people are excited to get there for their cruise. But my advice is to get there early. Usually the cruise terminal will open about 10 a.m. and boarding usually, or the boarding procedure, I should say, begins around, let's say, 11 or so. Somewhere in the 11 o'clock hour. Usually by 11:30 a.m. And my advice to you is, look, if you're coming to a cruise port and you're staying in a hotel, you can wait in two places. You're either waiting in your hotel room or you can wait in the cruise terminal. May as well wait in the terminal. Not only that, the earlier you arrive, the earlier you will board. And most people show up for their cruise a little later in the day, probably around noontime to 2 o'clock. That's prime time. So if you can get there before then, you'll beat the rush and you'll maximize the amount of time you have on board the ship. Number 13, the internet exists, and you know what? It's pretty darn good on Royal Caribbean. Not all cruise lines can boast that, but Royal Caribbean's internet across its fleet is pretty darn fast and quite frankly affordable. If you're looking for a discount on Royal Caribbean's internet packages, definitely pre-purchase them. Royal Caribbean routinely offers pre-cruise discounts for its internet if you buy it before the cruise. So definitely take advantage of that. Number 14, take the stairs. Yeah, it's kind of a weird tip if you've never cruised before, but you know what? With all the indulging you'll be doing between drinking and eating some more, and then maybe eating something after that, you could probably do yourself a favor by maybe burning some calories taking the stairs. Not only that, the stairs are a lot easier to take because it's a lot faster in a lot of cases, and the elevators can get congested from time to time. So do yourself a favor, avoid the rush, burn some extra calories, take the stairs. And our last tip, this is really an important one, is take the time to smell the art. Or the roses, whatever happens to be the case. Royal Caribbean's cruise ships are absolutely beautiful and stunning, and there is a ton to see around the ship. Obviously, a lot of people are just focused on pool, eating, drinking, repeat, etc., 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 the activities, right? But take some time to really enjoy what the ship is and all about and what it has on board. There's some amazing art collections on every single Royal Caribbean ship. So, it really is the old saying, take some time to stop and smell the roses. Well, that's really what we're talking about over here, because I believe that when you're on these ships, there's so much more than just doing activity after activity after activity. Do yourself a favor and try to do it all, so to speak. So there you go. There's our tip for today with the 15 things that everybody should know before going on a cruise. And I'm glad you guys are joining us here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I apologize if the internet's not really cooperating. I don't know why that would be the case. It's been working fine all day. Maylin says, thank you very much, Matt. Very helpful. Awesome. Really glad to hear that. Kathy Drew, the bigger ships are great because you get lots of exercise in. That's very true. Hello, Keisha. Welcome. Mike Pastore. Welcome. Christine Davis is here. Dat dude from Texas. Thanks for joining us here. We've got a lot of people from Texas. We've got Contracts from Spring, Texas, just north of Houston. Kelly wants to know, will the photo package ever go down? Generally speaking, I don't believe so, Kelly. You should definitely give it a try whenever you can. Tiffany Lee, welcome. I'm sorry about the buffering, guys. I have no... It's not, it doesn't even on my end. I'm seeing one frame dropped. But it seems like the health of the stream is pretty good. I'm going to do some investigating, but I don't know why YouTube is doing it. I don't think it's... I hate to say it's not on my end, but I don't think it's on my end. If that makes any sense. But I hope these tips were helpful for you guys. I guess I'm going to have to wrap the stream early because the video... a lot of folks are reporting some buffering issues there, and I apologize for that. I certainly hope the replay is okay, because otherwise I'm going to have to delete this video and redo it, because I thought it was some really good tips over here. But yeah, I'm sorry, guys. So again, if you're looking for more Royal Caribbean news, information, advice, check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. We are live here every Friday. I'll try to get the internet working a little bit better next time. Don't know what happened this time. But guys, have a great rest of your day. Happy weekend. And we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube.